What is going on YouTube? David Hammond, beautiful Mother Nature, and in today's tutorial, guys, it's a little different. We are speaking of 3 tips for posing as a male. Alright, now, as a bit of context, you guys know I do a lot of outdoor photography and videography work. Primarily speaking, I'm behind the camera, right? And in the past, I've been doing that for a few years now, a couple of years, and in the past 6 months or so, I decided, I want to start a personal page. When I'm out on all these adventures, I also want shots of me, right? So, yeah, about 6 months now, and through that, gaining any tips and tricks I can is posing as a male in front of the camera. Now again, as a disclaimer, I am not a model. I'm not claiming that you have to follow any of these rules. This is just what I've noticed myself. This is what I do, and I feel it tells a better story and makes the image look better, okay? So let's get straight to it, guys. The first tip is going to be to do an action, okay? Now, as males or as men, one of the most attractive things to really society, really anyone in the whole world, is for a man to do something, right? So an action to you can mean whatever that is. It can be simply you sitting on a bench, hands in your pockets, looking off into the distance as if you're thinking something. Maybe you're plotting something. Maybe you're planning something. It can be you as simple as you walking down a path, right? Maybe you're really conveying the story of you walking down somewhere. You're going to do something. So action really can mean whatever it means to you. You can be on the phone. You can be putting your hood up. You can be maybe holding your bag, putting your backpack on. And the reason I say action, guys, is particularly as men, it can be a little awkward sometimes just staring at the camera or just like sitting nice and still and just smiling at the camera. It can just be awkward, it can look a little weird, and yeah, it's a little staged, it just doesn't feel right. So a big tip, guys, that I've used myself almost in every single shot is to do an action. Whatever action that means to you, it's gonna make that photo so much less awkward. It's gonna make it so much more attractive. And yeah, all right, cool. So now that takes me to point or tip number 2, which kind of leads on to it, and that is to tell a story, okay? Now the beautiful thing with doing an action is ultimately that's supposed to tell a story, right? So if I'm walking, let's just say there's a nice path and I'm walking down that, putting my hood on, that's my action, right? That's telling the story. Really, it can mean whatever it means to you, but maybe for me, that's telling the story of me doing my own thing. I'm alone, I'm walking down a path, putting my hood on, like screw everybody else. That very subconsciously will tell a story, and that's what makes a photo attractive, right? And there's some sort of story in it. So maybe before your photo, kind of have an idea in your mind, what am I trying to convey here, right? It can be as simple as you can even smile at the camera, like it really doesn't matter, but in that, smiling at the camera, you are conveying a story, you're trying to tell something. Maybe it's where you're at, maybe it's what you're wearing, it's what you're doing, but telling a story, again, drive that home. That's point number 2, okay? And guys, the third tip, it's a pretty quick tutorial. The third tip, guys, is to have fun, okay? Now I know that sounds like so obvious and like, wow, thanks David, great. But like there's so many times where like being in front of the camera and taking photos, really for a lot of people, and myself included at times, you know, sometimes it's just not fun. Maybe there are a lot of people staring at you, maybe it's awkward, maybe you don't know what to do, you're just standing there. And, you know, especially as a male, you know, as guys, being in front of the camera can really be weird, really for anyone, but it can just be awkward. So try to have fun with it. If that means, guys, in the beginning, what I do at times is if you just want to be alone, right? Maybe go to the forest. That's why it's so perfect. That's really the reason why I started. I'm always alone. I can do whatever. Shoot with your friends. Shoot someone you're familiar with, you're comfortable with. That way, you're gonna let your guard down. You're gonna have fun. You're not gonna be all tensed up and just like rigid. It'll look weird. So guys, that is really the end of the tutorial. I have not made a tutorial about being in front of the camera posing before. I'm thinking of doing more of it because I do have my Instagram, been building it up for a while now, and I really do enjoy it. And it still incorporates the whole outdoor photography aspect, right? So that's it, guys. I hope you guys like this. I hope it helped. If you're a guy, go out, take photos, or a girl, I really don't care. It's meant for guys, but if whoever, go out, take photos, have fun, do good, and make it look sick. All right, so that's it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Beautiful Mother Nature. Sun's about to set, so that's it, guys. Thanks so much. Much love. Peace.